Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, Breaker of Seven Seals. The Mind War. What is the Mind War? What's it all about? Where's the mind? I'm going to take some time to talk about that today. I'm going to spend a little while talking about it, because I know no one fully understands it. But it's closer to you than breathing, because you have to breathe. You constantly breathe. You stop breathing, you die. Your heart stops beating, and this is even more. This is close to you even than that. The mind war, but you don't understand it. It's not because because of the devil, because they don't understand either. They can't teach you more than they know. But by teaching what they know, right? Means, and if they don't have full picture, you want a full picture. Now there was a time you had the full picture, but even when you first came here, you didn't have a full picture, because the decline had already started. Decline started 35,000 years ago when they moved up to mathematical standard and start creating artificial minds. Religions are minds. Religions are minds. Well, a mind, most people don't even know the difference between mind and brain. 90% of people you talk to out there, they will think it's the same thing. They don't know, there's no distinction. There's a distinction. Your brain is, your hardware is your brain. Your brain, that's your, right? That's the hardware. That does the calculations like the computer. It just calculates like a muscle. Muscle just does certain things, lifts. Right? Brain just calculates. But your mind takes information in and feeds it into the brain. And the brain just calculates what the mind gives it. Now, if the mind is getting bad information, the brain's going to calculate that bad information, and your decision is based on what that calculation is. Your decisions, you have three parts: input, processing, output. Input, processing, output. Input, processing, output. Input, what goes into the mind, that provides input. Processing, the brain, the calculating, and the mind. The output, your decisions. Now, it's obviously your decision is based on the input. Now, it can be affected by that. The processing, if the processing is corrupted, because the brain can be corrupted with drugs and other things, disease, whatever. So there you got two problems then. Your input could be good, but the processing could be bad. Or both could be bad. Or the process be perfect, your input is bad. Either way, your decision will be bad. The only way you have perfect decisions, because you will make perfect decisions, right, based on the input. If the input is correct and the process is correct, you'll make perfect decisions. So, well, what about the devil? They're making perfect decisions too, based on their calculations. But then you got levels of like your brain, you have different powers. Some computers are more powerful than others. So it depends on how intense the processing is. Okay? Does it really get down to the atomic level? It processes, but how deep does it get? That spatial, how deep into, so then your decision will be more accurate. It'll be, okay, if the brain is healthy, is processed properly, and the information coming is correct, right? Then the output depends on what the brain calculates. But the brain has different levels of calculation, different strengths, right? Some more powerful than others. You understand? So therefore, the decision that comes out, right, won't be as detailed as the one that got more complex brain. You understand what I'm saying? So the devil, he's making decisions based on a brain that it's like an animal, right? They have brains and they make decisions, but their brains are weaker, so they make decisions based on how well their brain can calculate. They can't calculate as good as ours, but their decisions are accurate on that level. And that gets to the story of Adam. So I submit to Adam. Say, I know what you know not. See, Adam, wait a minute, think about that. We're told to submit to Adam. So wait a minute, why would we, by God? So if we submit, that means we're going to follow Adam's will. But we're supposed to follow nobody's will but Allah. But following Adam was following Allah's will. Do you think these things true? When you're doing Adam's will, you're doing Allah's will, as long as he didn't touch that tree. So then you'll be unjust. Then you're not following my will. But if you follow my will, if you do, and what is my will? Make mischief, shed blood. Wait a minute. See, that's why you don't understand, because you don't understand how the mind works and how this whole creation works. You need to understand, right? Like I said, the data has to be comprehensive. If data comes in and it's flawed, like if you think the world is flat, then your decision is going to be based on that information. You're going to bring them calculate properly. So it says, well, don't go too far across that sea because you're going to fall off. And that's correct. That's absolutely correct if the world is flat. But because that's what your brain is your mind is telling you, the world is flat. That's the level of your knowledge. So you say the world is flat. If I go out too far, I'm going to fall off. That's a perfect calculation if the world is flat. So it depends on your knowledge. You see? And also your depth of processing. See? So, like, you cannot tell a lion how the world works. The brain can't calculate that deeply. So, the Caucasians, they can't tell them how do you, because their brain can't calculate. That's why I call them beasts, because their brain cannot calculate that deeply. You see? Just like a person that can't see. Well, that means their brain can't calculate what sight is all about. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that you have those factors. See? So you have to have a brain, right, that's consistent. Its quality of it, the depth of it is consistent with the, let me put it this way. Okay. The brain has to be has the same complexity as the universe itself. Has the same complexity as the universe itself. Animals' brain has less complexity. You understand? Less complexity. Your brain has to be as complex as the universe itself in order to be able to accept, process all that data that comes in, all the data that will come in from the universe. You understand that? It has to be as, because otherwise, right? Then it comes in, but I mean, the lions and tigers and dogs, they get the same information in that we get in the universe. I mean, they see, they walk around, weather and all these different things, but their brain's not that complex. So their brain don't go into the, you know, they get their information's coming in, but their brain's not complex enough to compute on that level. So they compute on a lower level, but they compute accurately, but on a lower level. Hope I'm not confusing you. Okay? So when it says make on the created planet of God universe, that means your brain is as complex as the universe itself. And that gets back to how I explained how the first God, the consciousness, I'm not going to talk about that today. Maybe later. I said, I don't want to get too far. I want to keep this simple, brothers and sisters. So, because it's very difficult to talking because no one's on the mathematical level. So I got to be very. Once you get to the mathematical level, it's easy to speak. I mean, it's easy to talk on this level. But right now, it's have to explain concepts and things that you never even thought about before. I know none of you ever thought about these things before. It never even occurred to you. But yet you're functioning here. But you don't know. You understand your environment that you're functioning in. So how can you be successful? How can you go to a chess tournament and play chess? You don't know how to play chess. You're going to know how to play checkers. That's why you have thorough knowledge of self. But thorough knowledge of yourself means understand the complexity of the universe. So he said, they say that the devils had thorough knowledge. So they're talking about you. So you got to understand what they're saying. They're telling you have thorough knowledge of self. Not them, because them having thorough knowledge of self is not the same. Them having thorough knowledge of self, a beast, a dog having thorough knowledge of self will not make it a god. Will not make it human. It'll be the best dog it can be. But when he's telling you have thorough knowledge, that means you rise back to, you awaken to godhood because you had the ability to understand the entire universe, and understand it means you can control it. You can't control something you don't understand. See, they don't understand those. They don't understand those lessons. Thorough knowledge of self. When you have thorough knowledge of self, only you will be a God having thorough knowledge of self. No other nation having thorough knowledge of themselves they'll still remain angels. Means they have to be told what to do. Once you achieve Godhood, you don't need to be told what to do because you have thorough knowledge. You know how the creation works, and then you can control it. And that's what it said. We will control it. Once you have thorough knowledge, but you have to understand it before you can control it. So let's go into this. And I'm going to do the best I can here, brothers and sisters. Oops, what happened? Okay, see this here? Let me see if I can make this a little larger, brothers and sisters. Says, hold on, brothers and sisters, for a minute. Always technical issues here. Hold on for a minute here. Okay, see if that works okay. Nope, still the same problem. I mean, it's not unmanageable, but oh, there you go. Oh, okay. That's what it was. Okay. Now I try to get a grab. Oh, come on. One thing I've noticed, brothers, is I'm not buying any new computers. No, I'm showing here is, I'm showing the brain, and I'm showing this thing around. I'm saying that's the mind. But the reason it look like a thorn, because that's the Christian mind we have. That's the mind we have for the last 5 years. See, because that's the framework of this mind. It's the sealed Bible. So that's what the mind looks. So it's taking information from that perspective. Because that perspective is limited. That's the sealed Bible. That's information that's coming in. Right? And I'm missing something there. Oh, Well, anyway, I'm missing something. I'm leaving it. But I show inside there's vectors inside that once the mind gets it, then it converts it. But hold on, maybe if I can show. Let me see if I can. Hold on for a second, brothers and sisters. Why is it doing that? Why is it not showing? We'll show it here. I don't know why it's not showing there. Okay, that's all right. Forget it. Another discrepancy. No discrepancy. Don't worry about it. No technical issue. All the tire graphics not showing. Oh, there it is. Now, okay. Okay, see it now. See yellow ones there? What's happening is, information comes in, the mind comes into the mind, right? Now the mind itself, the mind you give it, it has control of the information that it gets. So it can say, well, don't accept this information, don't accept that information. Just take this information and like you tell you, don't listen to Muslim, don't listen to me. See? And so it translates that information based on what your mother taught you or whatever, because you grew up. Remember, you get your mind. We got our mind from the devils, but our parents got it from them too. So then they say, okay, and so they mold. You got a mind that was the devil's made, and then your parents mold that mind too. They say, well, don't listen to what the Muslims say. Don't listen to what. See, so therefore, once you get that information in, then it says, okay, it modifies it, and then it feeds into the brain. Then the brain takes and just calculates it. And whatever calculation it comes up with, that's your decision you make. You understand? So if that information is bad, you're going to make bad decisions. You cannot make good decisions with bad information. How can you? Right? Now, when your brain actually calculates, that's tied to your nature. Like I said, the different levels of complexity depends on your nature. So that's where your nature interface is right there. In the processing part. How complex is your processing? You understand what I'm saying? That's where your nature comes in. Now, if you corrupt that makes it even worse. And once corrupt, then it's almost impossible to clean it back up. Hope you understand so far, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm saying. So I'm showing this thing because I'm saying it like a thorn crown because that's right now you have a Christian mind. See? So I'm trying to put this like a robot here, because like the age we're coming into, the AI age, right? But see, it's the cross here. That's the mindset that they're fighting with, because the mind war. They're fighting with. That's the word war. Mind war is forever. As long as we exist and we live forever, it's always a mind war. Even hereafter is a mind war, because mind thoughts are pressure. And I'm applying pressure to you right now with my thoughts. You're applying pressure to me with your resistance or whatever your thoughts are. Everybody, all this, the whole world is under the influence of everyone else's mind. This whole reality comes in from the mind. You understand? So it's a mind war. And so in the hereafter, we have a thing called Hajj. That those who achieve Hajj, is like you going down the road and a bunch of cars going down the road, all of them going 70 miles an hour north. Everybody going 70 miles an hour north, right? And say there's 5 feet between each car. Well, it's always going to stay 5 feet between each car. If all of them going 70 miles an hour, they at the same speed, right? There's no wind, anything involved. Then they don't keep on going. Everybody will stay 5 feet apart. But somebody slows down, then you got traffic, you got collisions. Because now all the guys, they got to hit the brakes to keep hitting you. So you slow down, suddenly 30, boom, there's a big gas line, then the next person you see a ripple effect all the way back. So it causes a kind of problem. And the only way they can do, they got to get your ass out of there to achieve Hajj. So it's the same way in the hereafter. Once you achieve Hajj, you on a mathematical level, you have to keep on that mathematical level, otherwise you're causing the problem and they have to get your ass out of there. Because you're causing the problem. See? But there's another side of this. Because it's tied to your universe. Remember I said your mind is connected to the complexity of the universe. Your brain complex enough? I mean, is it to a level of the complexity of the universe or lower level? Animals' brains are not up to the complexity of the universe. Total complexity. It's on a lower level, on a simpler level. But your brain, I hope I didn't say mine before. Your brain, right? Your brain, right? Is as complex as the universe itself, and theirs on lower level complexity. But yours is right. Those of you original, right? On the that's why make on the cream of the planet of God universe, because it's complex as the universe itself. You understand? So, if it's complex as the universe itself, right? That means that's okay. The pressure, like I said, so what's going to come out of your mind, right? Because you're going to calculate, right, based on its complexity. So your mind can be on that level. You can handle a mind that complex. See, if you have a mind like that and you try to give it to a dog, it's not going to do any good because it can't do anything with it. Its mind's not complex enough to handle that data. But yours is, because the data is the universe itself. You understand? The data is the universe itself. And your brain has the complexity, right, to calculate on that level. You understand? So the point is, but that's pressure. Thoughts of pressure, vectors. Everybody else has it. Right? So greater pressure overcomes lower pressure. That's why I have a concept of so-called supreme being. So it's like circles, concentric circles. Circle and right, circle right. Because the more powerful one is in the center, and the others move. But it has to be a sync, Hajj. And so the point I was going to make is about the universe keeps changing because it's expanding and contracting. And we told by Elijah Muhammad, you got these cycles, 24,000 year cycles, 25,000 year cycles. But in that cycle, you got 6,000 year periods, which is 4 seasons. 4 times 6 is 24,000. 4,000 times 6, 6,000 times 4 is 24,000. We just come out of winter season. That means the mind has to adjust to each season. Because mind keeps changing. In other words, the pressure change, then your mind has to adjust to that new pressure. The pressure changes, right? Like a season changes, look at it that way. Your mind, a winter mind will not survive in the spring. With the knowledge of the winter will be of no value in the spring. So it keeps changing, the pressure keeps changing. And that's why it's a mind war. Because you have to keep up with those changes. Otherwise you get crushed. Depends on which way the universe is going. If the universe is contracting, then you have to keep up because the pressure increases. If the universe is expanding, then the pressure decreases. So you have to have a mind. That's why you have a situation where you hear scripture. That's where scripture comes in. Because scripture is mind. Like I said, religions are mind. It's the mind of how you think the universe works. when you're on a mathematical standard, you was in sync with the universe. But when you lost that ability, see, I'm saying too many things here, brothers and sisters. It's just, I don't know if I can get this presentation, because it's just too many things I could add to it. It's not complicated, but let me go on with it. It takes energy to do anything. So even though your brain has its complex universe, it still needs energy to process the information, the universal information. So if the energy level is lower, then your brain won't be able to do it anymore. It gets lower, so it's harder and harder to do it. After a while, it doesn't have the energy to operate on that level. Even though it has the ability, it doesn't have the energy. You understand? You have the ability, you don't have the energy. That's called energy deprivation, because the universe expands. You can't create energy and you can't destroy it. So for the universe to expand, that means the energy that used to be here in the center is out there now. It means less here. So it means less energy to process with. That means now you don't have enough energy, right, to process on that level anymore, even though you still have the nature. You just can't enough energy. Just like if you have a computer, pull a plug, no electricity, it still is a computer, but it ain't got no electricity, it can't process. So therefore, now you reduce, you can't calculate that level, so now you reduce, you start calculating on a lower level, which is called religion. See? Because Islam is not a religion, Islam is mathematics, religion. But the point when you start lower level, that means a lower level. So you're not in sync with the universe anymore, because you operate on a lower level now, because you can't calculate on that level. So now you say, okay, this is the way the universe works. Because that's all your brain could handle. And it gets worse and worse and worse to where we are right now. We don't have no idea how the universe works. We Christianity, everything is a mystery. We believe in Jesus, He's going to do this stuff for us. We believe in life after death and all these crazy things that you cannot prove. See, when you deal with mathematics, you prove everything. Like Elijah Muhammad said, right? Islam is mathematics. Mathematics, Islam, you can prove it in no limit of time, but you can't prove anything that you believe in. Nothing. You just have to have faith. You can't prove anything you believe in. Nothing. Because that's the way you're operating. And you will not have full operating capacity for another 6,000 years, unfortunately. Right? But you still have enough capacity now, right, to think on a mathematical level, but not enough, right, to understand how the universe works, but not enough to apply understanding to take control of it. See, that's why Master Muhammad, he has the power to control it, but it doesn't have the power to understand it 100%. That's why I need us. That's why I call Lamb the light. Yeah. So you need two. He has the power to control it. Being it is, he's a technical side. Am I making it clear enough for you? We're the spatial side. So that's why right here, that's why they don't want, we're innovators over here in America. That's why you don't know that. You don't want to apply innovation. That's why America's so innovative, because you have a better understanding of the universe than they do. Well, I said, yeah, we got their mind, but remember, we still calculate on a better, higher level than them. Even if we got their mind, we still calculate that bullshit that they're feeding us. We can calculate on a higher level than them. We're still using that bad information, but we can calculate it on a more deeper level than them. That way, we're more innovative. Am I making it clear enough for you, brothers and sisters? That's why we're the gold and silver. That's why we're the innovators. See? So once we get out of here, right, then we'll calculate on the level of thorough knowledge of self. But we still have enough energy to take control. But so we have Master Muhammad, you take control, but we'll supply, right, the wisdom and knowledge. Be and it is. And then we take full control for 6,000 years from now. That's how we do things. Have I lost you? And so that's where we are right now. But they're going out of their way, right, to prevent you from getting their own knowledge of self. They want to keep feeding you their mind. And the bottom line is, they can't do any better anyway. That's why it tells you, no one in heavens, earth, or on earth could break the seals. What's telling you there is that they couldn't read by itself. Their mind is not complex enough to move that level anyway. There's nothing they could ever do it. See, you got to understand what these things are telling you. Look deep into it, deeper into it. That's why his lamb could look very deep into it. But he couldn't control the kingdom because he had to give it to Master Muhammad. He would take control of the kingdom. But he knew it. See? Mindwar. And his mind was able to defeat all other minds. High pressure overcomes lower pressure. Who is like the beast? Who can make war with the beast? He made war with 10 horns to overcome them. Right? He's the one overcome home, took us back home. Overcome those enemies. You see what I'm saying? Because the point is, it's mind war. Always been mind war. And so then, that's what I'm saying. You have to, but the point is that in order to be victorious, you have to be, remember, that mind, the angel mind, is the most powerful mind. See? So you can't overcome it, but you can get in sync with it. Same frequency, same wavelength. That's Hajj. Then you achieve Hajj. Then you're going along with that mind instead of opposing it, resisting it. Because those resisting it will be crushed by everlasting shame and appallment. Because they can't get in sync with it. They're resisting it. So instead of pressure inspiring them, it's crushing them, oppressing them. You understand, brothers and sisters? See, you need to study and understand. I use my words carefully. You can't go say anything. Because if you do, then you ain't in sync. And Hajj means you perfectly in sync. Same frequency, same wavelength. Now you see, you throw a rock into the ocean, right? You see wave. You see the wave in the center and move out and out, right? Okay. Well, they're in sync with that first or so. They spread out. It's Hajj. It's sympathy and rhythm. Okay. So you're in this powerful, but you're in the same wavelength, same frequency. So therefore, you fit in, but you feel on a lower level, but you still fit in. Because you got the supreme being at the center, then a circle around him. They're on the same wavelength, same frequency, right? So they're still in sync. Then on the next one, next level. So everybody's going around circle, same time, right? Same frequency, right? Same wavelength. Okay. And that's what you have to get to. Because you're not going to have the same pressure level, so you'll be on a different. So you're not going to have the same. In other words, you're going to be on your pressure. Your thought level is going to be lower, but as long as in frequency, has the same frequency, same wavelength, then right, there's no conflict. There's no Hajjus. Everybody's not going to be. That's right, because there's going to be different levels of pressure. Nobody tell you have the same level of pressure. Everybody have to be, but you have to be in Hajj and sync. Maybe I'll give a graphic on that if you understand it. You see? Because if you got circles going around, right, like gears, with some going faster than others, but they ain't in conflict with each other because they're all in sync, they're on the same wavelength, the same frequency. So there's no conflict there. So we all be different. We all have different levels of thought. But you got heart cells and lung cells and brain cells. So all as long as they operate on the same frequency, same wavelength, and everybody's in sync, that's harsh. One get out of sync, that's a cancer. Then it starts throwing everything else out of sync. After a while, cancer grows, and destroys the whole body. That's the mathematics of cancer. One falls out of sync, then you have to kill it. Otherwise, it's going to kill the body because it's going to try to force everything in sync with it. A cancer cell is going to try, it's out of sync with all the rest. It's on a different wavelength, on the same frequency. But by nature, that's its frequency, nature. So it's going to try to, everything around it is going to try to force it to go to the same frequency, same nature. That means now the cancer is growing. As we get the weaker ones, as it gets stronger, until eventually it destroys the whole body. That's the mathematics of cancer. So right now, we're on a different wavelength. The point is they brought us here and forced us on their wavelength and frequency. So then we acting like them. And so if we get out of sync with their wavelength frequency, then we're criminals. They throw us in jail, beat us up, because they identify us right away. We got to be in harsh with them. But on their frequency, that's their laws. You see the mathematics of it, brothers? It's a mind war. So once you step out of frequency, out of wavelength, then you're not near harsh. Right? And so therefore now, I'm not saying what they have is harsh, but you understand the point. Then, okay, now you're in resistance. Now you're a cancer. So they got to eradicate you. See, we're a cancer to them. And that's why they watch us, they contain us. Because they know if we grow, it's going to destroy them. So if we stay here with them, there will be a war. Because only one of us survive. If you got both of them cancer, you got one. If cancer not going to stay dormant. But we don't want that war. We're leaving here. See? We're going to let somebody else do that. That's another story altogether. See? Because now at that point we start forcing other people. That's why I said he put in their hearts to these other. The 10 horns, we put them on started moving them in our frequency. See, right now, the world is on the devil's frequency, wavelength. But now they're getting away from that because there's another frequency wavelength that's interfering with their frequency wavelength. I wonder what that could be. I wonder what, this is another thought in the world. See, the last 5 years, there was a driving force. Make men shed blood, that was a driving force. But now there's another counter force that's in the world. High pressure overcomes low pressure. There's a high pressure thought in the world that's affecting everybody in the world. And so that means there's a conflict because you got two frequency, two wavelengths. And it tells you in chapter 13 where it's coming from. It says, it's the Lord put in their hearts to go after the harlot. You see how these things come together? That tells you right there, the angel is the one that's driving this opposition to these devils, to their mind. It's a mind war. Now, are you part of it? Or are you in the middle? You're on the fence? Because you're fighting for it, like I said, you're either with me or you're against me. So if you're out there making up stuff and all that kind of stuff, then you're on the devil's frequency. And you might think it's a small thing. When your ass get burned up, something terrible happened to you. You be driving down the street, all of a sudden somebody run over your ass, and you understand that, well, that was that negative energy that you created yourself. Because your mind was out of sync, because you still got a winter mind. And what happens to the winter mind when the spring comes up? It melts. So if you were in there shooting running around with your winter mind, you're going to have bad things happen. You might be enough to totally destroy you. And that's this picture spot right here. Because see, they're one, but see, sun coming up. Spring is coming up. The spring is coming up. And he's going to war with his Christian mind. See? And And see, that's the level of their mind. Robots, androids. See? And they're going to war trying to stop that spring from coming in. And we're the spring. That's what that's all about. And you guys with their mind, Christian mind. And it's a mind war. It's not about guns. It's not about tanks, about atomic bombs. Those things come out of the mind. You destroy the mind, those things go with it. It takes a mind to pull a trigger. So you have to understand how the universe works. Thorough knowledge of self. Thorough knowledge of self. Hey, brothers and sisters. So that's why Master Muhammad come and give you actual facts, give you a more comprehensive knowledge of the universe. So now you can calculate, make better decisions. And Elijah made very good decisions, but Elijah made decisions. You just followed Elijah. See, because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you would never got tripped up by Farrakhan. Because he does have a complex mind. He cannot understand how the universe works. Because his mind, he's got a devil mind. That's why a messenger will come. He'll break. That shows you right there that level, that the INJIL was a high level complexity of this, because they couldn't understand it, and no one else could. Only that one could. That means there's a high complexity of everybody else's. That means that's the level you want to move to. Let me say another thing. I said seasons. When I talk about seasons, the universe constantly changing. That's why we get new minds. I told you, religion is mind, but also scripture. That's the mind gives you information that you need. The mind feeds information to the brain. So the point is, but the universe changes, the mind changes. The mind. That's why Elijah Muhammad said, give a new way of thought. The mind changes because the universe changes. That means in the winter you need this type of mind, but in the spring you need this type of mind. So if you're going to hold on to the mind of winter, then you're going to not survive in the spring. That's another aspect of mind that they don't know. They think mind is just, the way they taught you, that mind is static. Static means it's not changed, doesn't change. The world doesn't change. So knowledge you have is forever. See, that's why right now they're trying to hold on to this. They don't see. Right now they're talking about global warming, all this kind of stuff. They don't understand. That's because the universe is changing. And that's the way disbelievers always are. They're trying to stop because they think, hey, something's wrong, because they don't know about seasons. Or either if they do know, they don't know how to adjust to the next season. That's why Elijah Muhammad says we're like what they call chameleons, that we can adjust to any kind of situation. We can adjust because our mind is totally in sync with the universe. So therefore, as the universe changes, our mind changes also. Okay? I say our brain is with total complexity of the universe. Right now, our mind is not in tune with the universe, the mind we have. But we can have a mind that is in tune with the universe. That's has thorough knowledge of self. That's the knowledge side. And we're going to get that. But getting it won't help deaf devils because they can't process it. But you can. But right now, you're not getting it. You're getting their level of processing. So you're acting like them because you have to be on their wavelength and their frequency. Otherwise, you're in conflict with them and they got to remove you. That's what laws are. Hope not get too complicated here, brothers and sisters, for you. I'm choosing all my words carefully here. check something real quick. So you had to, so you got to understand, you got the seasons. That's why you get scripture. Say, okay, this is the mind you need. This adjustment you need because this season. That's why they couldn't understand. You got a beautiful story about that in Adam and Iblis. Because he is God saying submit to Adam. He submit to Adam's will. If he submit to Adam, he's submitting his will. But you say now most places submit entirely to the will of Allah. So that means if he's telling you to submit to that, that means that's his will for you to submit to Adam. That means, but Adam's will is to make men shed blood. So that means it's God's wills too. So wait a minute, how does that work? See, it does because that's it. That's the way that is the nature of the universe at the time. Now you say, well, no, I'm going to be righteous. I'm going to be good. And your idea of righteousness and good was wrong. Because at that time universe, the definition of righteousness and good would be making mission shed blood. That's why God told him to do that. But you don't understand that. Because you got some absolute idea of what good is, some absolute idea of what bad is, and that's wrong because that's not the way the universe works. That's what you've been taught. You don't understand about the fulcrum, how things change, and the fulcrum changes. So you don't understand any of these things because you haven't been told them. And you definitely haven't told them about those. They don't understand how the universe works. They don't know how atoms work. They have these theories. They call them theories. They don't know how gravity works. All theories. So they make mistakes in their thinking. But their corrupt thinking was sufficient, was in tune with an energy deprivation period where thinking would be weak because you wouldn't have the energy to think. But the ones that was in tune with that level of thinking at that time would be successful. And that would be Adam and Eve. Adam. And it was, well, I can't do that. Well, then you wouldn't submit to God. You claimed, but you was not. You said, I'm not going to submit to that. And so what happened? You got your ass kicked because you don't understand. Things don't say things change. And so how could God's will be to make mission shed blood? Because you had no understanding what God is anything. He said, that's what you need. It's like, you live in the summer all your life. Somebody come tell you, well, you got to get ready for the winter. Get ready for winter for what I got to do when I love the summer. Well, that's maybe not such a good analogy. But the point is that that's the level of knowledge you need for energy deprivation. And that's the knowledge to be successful. And Adam was successful because he put down every nation. They put down he says, they say, the Sunni church, all mankind, who've been ruling the world for the last 500 years? America and Britain, Gog and Magog, ain't all the nations. They've been making mission shed blood. They've been successful with it. And they put down every nation they put under their foot by making mission shed blood. Well, what was God at during the time? What was he? How come he allowed that? Hell, he inspired it. He put Adam in control. That's what he wanted. Where's Allah at? Well, you don't know who Allah is because you're stupid as hell. See, because you got this bad idea about what Allah is, everything. You don't know anything. It tells you right there. If that's, Allah, he can't lie. He can't do evil. He can't do bad. No, he can't. Because making mission shed blood was not evil during the time of making mission shed blood. It was the righteous thing to do. At the time of making mission shed blood, being a mission maker and a blood shedder is righteous in the time of making mission shed blood. Time of energy deprivation, you're righteous. You're doing God's will. That's the nature of the universe at that time. Who made the universe? Didn't God make the universe? Didn't he control everything according to you? You see the ignorance in the world today? The ignorant. Farrakhan, he's top of the line ignorant. What I'm telling you right now, he had He had no idea. He still understand it. You can understand what I said. If you apply yourself, he would never understand it. Never. Even though he's part of the mystery of shed blood. Because their level of complexity is lower. And so they want to keep the world like it is right now. And now the spring has come, the sun, see the sun rising there? And the sun rises, they start to feel heat. Hey man, something's wrong. We can't, heat is bad for us. See? It was global warming. No. They say, think about it. Let's look at a simple situation. They tell you global warming is bad. And they say the reason why global warming is because this their technology. Isn't that what they say? Cars and all that kind of stuff, their technology. So what's the calculation here then? Calculation, if you want, because global warming is going to destroy the planet. That's what they're telling you. They didn't do anything about it, but they claim, right? Well, they claim they do it, but whatever. But they say it was destroyed, right? So what's the solution then? What's the logic? It means to get rid of it. But if they get rid of it, that means they destroy because this is what their mind produced, or their mind could produce. And now they're under control of other nations. You see the dilemma there? But that's not what's causing it. They couldn't. That's why they're not getting rid of it, because they said, well, yeah, it's going to cause, either way, it's going to cause destruction of the planet, the environment, and everything else, because our mind is not in tune with the environment. This came out of our minds, so something wrong with our minds. Our minds being destroyed. You see what they're saying? You don't understand. They say our minds being destroyed because this old technology is the reflection of their mind. That means their minds being destroyed. If this technology is being destroyed, this reality, that means it came out of their minds, not ours, theirs. They tell you their minds are being destroyed. They're telling you. I know you. They talk all over your head. You never know what they talk about. Their mind, they're being destroyed. Now they may not fully understand it, the source of destruction. They know it, but they say when they see that destruction come, they don't understand from whence it comes. Put it that away. They see the destruction coming because they're saying if this whole reality that they built is being destroyed, that means their mind's being destroyed. That means they're being destroyed. But they don't know from whence it comes. They say, oh, it's because these cars. But if we get rid of these cars, same thing. No matter what we do, the result going to be the same. You know, I told you, there's nothing they can do. But they see it from a different perspective. I'm telling you from the mathematical perspective. They saying nothing they can do. Because if we get rid of this technology, then our military, everything goes. We can't protect ourselves. So we got to keep it. We keep it, we're going to destroy the reality. But if we don't get rid of it, right, then we're going to end up destroy the reality. If let me say it again. If we keep it, if we don't do it, if we keep this technology and everything else, right, it's going to destroy our reality. But if we destroy this technology and everything else, right, then we get destroyed too, because we destroyed the reality, and now the other realities that the other religions other people have, that's the reality. There's minds, right? It's overcome theirs. Because remember, it's mind war, and you got different pressure on the planet right now. You got Hinduism, that's pressure, that's a mind. You got Buddhism, that's a mind. And Christianity, that's a mind. Right now, it's the most powerful mind. At least it was. But now you got the angel mind coming, because it tells you this gospel we're preaching all over. But if you understand gospel Revelations, it says this gospel we're preaching all the world, then it will come. Now, if you understand the gospel is revelation, and what revelation in Arabic means angel, if you understand that, that means, and they can't understand it, it's great oppression. That means this gospel is great oppression. Theirs is going to destroy theirs, and that be the end. It said to be preaching all the world. That means it overcame all other pressures. And that would be the end. That's what it's saying. I already showed you how it's affecting the whole world right now. And it's getting more and more powerful all the time. And now you look at Israel now, they keep saying, is black people real? You never heard that even 2 years ago. Is black people really children of Israel? And stuff like that. It's gaining ground. And when this war starts, that's the trigger. Like you saw this movie, the countdown, you got a bomb going off there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, boom. Tick-tock. It's getting closer all the time. They can't stop it. Because spring is coming in. There's nothing they can do to stop it. They're saying, we'll catch 22. If we get rid of this, right, then the other pressure, we're going to destroy our own pressure, our own minds. That means the other minds will come in and crush us. Remember, the other minds are pressure too. But the Christianity, the pressure they had for 5 years was enough to overcome their pressure. The Sunnis, the Hindus, everybody else. Because that was the pressure for that time. That was the mind for that time. But now, spring coming in, now they start feeling the pressure. A new mind's coming in that's putting pressure on them and everybody else. So now you see all this trouble. And something I meant to mention the other day, remember I told you all these pressures, I said, first America, they're on fire. And I said, then Oriental, and then I said Asia, right? So forth, so on, right? Remember, Asia got a Islamic population. I mean, Oriental got an Islamic population too. They call it Uyghurs, I believe they call them, right? And they're about to be wiped out. See, there's friction going on right there, and they're about to be wiped out. I told you, all this is heating up. That's one of the things. See, right now you see a conflict between Europeans and the so-called Islamic Europeans, which are the Shia. They're Caucasian on their maternal side. They're original, but they say they consider part of Europe. And so forth. And the Asians, right? The Sunnis, the Arabs, they're the Muslim part of the Asian side. That's the golden. Each one's what I call them the golden calf. Each one. And so for in Africa, you got the same thing. You got the Muslim side of that. But you notice, you don't see the Muslim side or the Oriental in the ark, because they're about to be wiped out. They're under pressure right now. Just keep it on the low. So I'm just saying, because you're going to hear about it soon. And maybe because they're seeing what's going on in Gaza over there, they say, well, that's a perfect opportunity. We are them. What are they going to say to us? What are they going to say to us? We're going to wipe them out. Because they're going to be wiped out. You see no evidence. None of them are showing up in the ark. And I told my daughter that years ago. Oh, well, wow. Because, my children, they're another wavelength somewhere. I was telling her, she went down, remember the Farrakhan, and I don't know if I'm something to blame, because I told myself I'd rather you be with Farrakhan than out in the streets. But I said, don't drink the Kool-Aid, but she wouldn't drink the Kool-Aid. You married some fool over there, and a couple of them is 2 or 3 of them, I think, 3 of them, all of them, they talk that stuff. You don't want to miss those dumbass Farrakhan little. I got a special name for him. I'm not going to say it. They ain't no damn good over there. She was married 3 times. All of them were damn dogs. Every one of them. We're no damn good. They talk all that crap over there. The thing is, when Elijah was around, right? Everybody was on. Everybody was doing their thing, right? But the point is, you didn't carry yourself like that when Elijah's around. Your ass would be out in a hot second. These guys were just living off my daughter, and they weren't doing anything. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into all of it. Right? Yeah. I told you, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Going over there, but they don't know anything over there. And they're gonna crushed too. I think I'm gonna leave it there, bro. I don't know if I got anywhere in with you or not. I'm trying to get you to understand how this thing works. It's pressure. It's a mind war. And when you get to here, you have to still in mind war. Because first of all, your paradise has come out of your mind. Okay? And it has to be a connection. Because you got 2 minds. We got a female mind and a male mind. And it has to be a sync. Same frequency, same wavelength. Then you have peace and hush. right? But if one gets out of sync, waver, then you got conflict. So, and as time goes on, because it says in the end, only as time goes on, everybody's not going to be anything harsh. It's just, right? Because only one being, mine has total, it's 100% complexity. Yours is very close. Very close. That's why he had the 24 scientists at different levels. The lower scientists, see? But it says only one person was total sync. And so at the end, because your mind keeps adjusting, you can keep up with it. But then only one can go to the end. Just too much. Complexity, the pressure is just too great. So he can maintain that wavelength and frequency in total sync with the universe. So it's not pressure to that being. But even so, that being itself has to be a composite of both beings, male and female, to handle that. So you can put down these sisters because they went further than you, because there was one sister, if you look at that way, that was higher than all other brothers, because that sister and that being was a composite of two, a male and a female. And whoever that female is, if you want to look at it as an individual, mine was total sync of the universe. Two. From the female side. You had to have both. But see, that's part of energy deprivation, right? Because we lost that unity that hides between the male and the female. And we see it right now. And so that's why it says it would take what? Suleiman to come and establish that. Again, that's why I said be male and female. Because if you look at Adam, right, even during Adam's time, it wasn't that way. Because first, if you destroy Adam was made, then female. She came along, and she was supposed to be his helpmate. So it said that that was energy deprivation. It's still telling you that's the aspect of energy deprivation. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But once we got to the point where our mind got restored, we have enough energy to restore our minds back, then we realize equality, male and female. So that aspect between, because it got down to, so when you get down to, when your mind, then you result back to strength. And so we apply strength against them and everybody else. And so we had greater strength and we oppressed the women. And a lot of you are going to regret that. Now, I haven't been that stupid. I've been stupid. I ain't been that stupid. I'm thankful for that. I don't want to oppress women. But I do get mad at them, some of them. Right? But then I realized it's my stupidity when I'm mad. I used to be stupid like that too. And in some ways, I'm probably still stupid to some extent right now. Right? Because I never try to control any females, but I'm expecting them to think like I think. Why would I? That was stupidity. Why would you want them to think like you think? In fact, that's the last thing you would want. Why don't you just marry another man then? Some do. Okay. I'm thinking mathematically and everything else. I had a problem growing up. I had a problem with females growing up. They like me. And for some reason, the devils, they were always after me. I could never understand it. I didn't want to bother them. But in school and everything else, they was always, them the ones that was really pushing them. I couldn't understand why they liked me so much. I ain't never messed with them. I had a lot of opportunities. I remember one time I was working, I had my own business, and I was working in New York. And I saw Stevie Wonder. He came in the building one day. Stevie Wonder's a big guy. I was surprised. He's taller than me, and he's a big guy. I mean, he's not fat, but he's a big guy. He had a whole bunch of security around him. He came in the building, right? And this woman, she was a supervisor. I had a contract at this insurance company, as a supervisor, right? And she was coming to talk to me all the time. And she wanted me to take me out to lunch and stuff. So I'm okay. She's a client, right? And then I forget how the story go, but she got a divorce or something, and then she moved to Florida, and she called me up and asked me would I come to Florida she was in love with me and would I marry her. I said, oh, are you kidding? Ooh. You know, I was surprised. I don't know why. What was about me, but I ain't never had any intimate relationship with any of them ever. Right? So I had that much sense. But I just didn't have, the sisters, I didn't have too much, because they'd come around me, but then they wouldn't stay around long because I'd be talking, and they didn't want to talk that kind of stuff. Right? And then some brother, well, I should be talking this. This guy that messed my sister up, when I went in the military, she hung with this guy. I kind of hung with him. We used to hang out. We had a little, I grew up in Newark, right? So I wasn't a geek. I stayed a lot of time in the library, but I hung out and I was in the hood. I was in a little gang called Condors, and I was doing these, doing thing, and I got a lot of fights a lot of times, right? I ain't taking no bullshit from nobody. And so there's one guy named Lawrence. He was from the South, Birmingham somewhere. He was country as hell, but the girls loved him. He was taller than everybody else, right? But they loved him, skinny, tall. I don't know why he loved somebody. He really knocked the girls, right? And so when I went in the military, man, he got called my sister, messed her up. She was younger than me. I come back, she got 3 babies. He telling her, hey, keep having his babies, because she get more money from welfare. Oh man, I wanted to kill that. Oh man. He stayed away. He stayed hidden the whole time, because I think this other guy I knew told him I was looking for him. I was going, ooh. They found somebody stuck, he just whooped his ass. He said drug dealer, some guy, because threw him in the garbage can. But he told me, one thing he did tell me before I went to the military when I was hanging out with him. He said, man, because he said, the sister, they liked me, but I guess they couldn't do it around me. They didn't want to hear what I was talking about. I remember one time a bunch of them grabbed me, man. They took me down, tied me up to a pole. Then they read about 11. He's tied to the pole, he's tied. He used to play with me like I did, right? But I didn't know how to come back to him because I wasn't trying to mac the streets. I loved them. Well, I love these black women, always have. These black original women, I love them, always have. But I didn't know I could communicate with them because this is what I want to talk about. And she told me, says, man, and two things, and I'm going to leave this alone. 2 things, she said, man, you need to just shut up. Just let them talk. I started doing that, and things started a little merrier. And then I had this little girlfriend, right? When I went to the military, because I knew her before. Her mother really liked me. Her mother liked me a lot. So she wasn't quite my girl, but her mother wanted me to be her boyfriend because her mother really liked me. And so when I was in the military, I would write, and I would never get an answer back, right? And I had this brother named Bosco. Everybody called by his last name, right? I think he's from Illinois, somewhere around there. And he was a lady man, he was always talking about ladies all the time. So, we hung out, and so he came and says, how come you never get any letters, man? I said, I don't know. He said, you write? I said, yeah. I said, let me see your letter. I said, I'd never see a letter. He said, you know what your problem is? You're saying too much stuff. So he said, what you do is, when you write the letter, just don't put no punctuation. I'm putting punctuation marks, saying exactly what I want, punctuation marks, periods and column, all that kind of stuff. Just take the letters out, so they can read what they want to read into it. Sure enough, I sent a letter like that, I started getting letters back. So after that, I realized, man, there was something wrong with me. Because I'm expecting the sisters to think like I think, and that wasn't happening like that. Like I grew up without a mother, so I didn't know, And so I started realizing that, hey, man, there was a different perspective in the world, different way of thinking. And then I started trying to understand that. And so I'm where I am now, but it was strange. Those two things, man. Guys said, just shut up. And other told me, says, man, just stop being so technical. Just say what we don't say, but don't put it. So when she read what she wants to read into it. Because if you don't put punctuation, all that kind of stuff, right? Capitalize, all that kind of stuff, just put some words in there, then she's going to interpret like she want to interpret. And sure enough, I started getting letters. I sure did. I wasn't getting it before that. So Isaac Bosco, that was his name. Briscoe. Isaac Briscoe. That was, I just remember. Bricoe. So if he hear me, man, remember, thumbs up. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I don't know if I can do any more with this. Maybe I'll follow up. But it's a mind war. And that's your weapon. That's why they don't need to send one man into a nation. One prophet, one messenger. Elijah Muhammad still told these people. Prophet Muhammad, no education. Neither did Elijah. I don't have any either. I've educated myself. One prophet you need. Because I understand how the universe works. And I've been telling you, I'm not going into that detail now, right? But I tell you how you understand how the universe works, right? Then, and you start planning, and no matter how complex your brain is, right? It's going to be more powerful than other people who have the same complexity you have, but less discipline. But see, there's nothing the devils can do, and with this angels coming, there's nothing they can do. It's gospel preaching all the world. There's nothing they can do to stop it. And it's not global warming. It's not caused by it's the universe. It's more mental heaven, earth, but coming all of a sudden. That means the universe is more energy. If more energy comes, means everything's heating up. And it's bad for them. Okay, put it like this here. Say, for instance, it's the winter and the spring coming, right? So now water starts melting. You have mountain slides, what they call it, snow slides, what do they call that, right? And you got floods because ice melting and everything else. Well, that's not bad for the spring. That's bad for the winter. That means that water melting now is going to fertilize the land, right? And the mountain's going to be clear now, the snow, and it's going to be beautiful. You see, but for them, that's bad. So all this stuff, this weather and everything else, that weather's good for us. Because it's destroying the winter. Destroying them. You see, the mindset, when you understand the mindset, see, they're talking about, whoa, Chicago, that's where Chicago, why would, if that's Farrakhan is, why would God send a snowstorm here and a dust storm there, right? It seems like he'd be safe there. If that's where his man is. See, these things happen because it's the winter coming to a close. All this, it's destroying all this stuff. It's destroying every reality. It's destroying our reality because our reality hasn't come in yet. It's destroying every. Put it another way. It says one day had to be destroyed for another country. How does the nation get destroyed? So you looking at destruction of this nation, but you say you look at your destruction. No. How do you think America's gonna go out? It's just you gonna wake up when morning's gone? It's gonna go out with bad weather, bad everything, bad luck, bad consequence, wars and everything else. So when you see that, it said hold your head up because your redemption is nigh. So I see bad weather. I said, who is destroying? It's destroying their reality, not yours. Yours ain't come in yet. It's destroying yours to make place, destroying theirs to make place for yours. New way of thinking, brothers and sisters, because you didn't think like this before. You never even thought about thinking like this before. In fact, most of you didn't even think before. And you sure ain't getting this from Farrakhan. You ain't getting it in the media. You ain't getting it anyplace else. But when you think about it, if you do think about it, you see it's perfectly correct. It's easy to understand. The simplicity of Christ. See? But the way they got you thinking, that's why you thinking backwards, so you think it's against you. That's why it says the man of Mark was beating himself. Because you think, oh, it's against you. But you say, I want this reality to go away. How's it going to go away? It's just going to disappear? It's going to go away with bad weather, war, famine, drought, disease. It's going to go. On every level they're going to be attacked. You say, oh, they're going to be attacked on the economic level, but social level is going to be okay. They might attack on the physical level, but the economic level, no, every level. That means disease on the health level. That means economic destruction on the economic level. That means a military war. You see, every level of this reality will be destroyed. That means with this quality of energy that's going to destroy it. That's why I said the plagues on every level. But that's the plagues destroying them. Now you, so when the plagues comes, it says, pass over. These plagues are not for you. That's why it says, get the hell out of here so you can take part of their plagues. That means you can be separated from their plagues. The plague's not affecting you. That's why it tells you, get away so you don't be affected by the plague. That means the plague won't affect you. It's not there to affect you. Otherwise, it will tell you, man, be covered. These plagues coming, man. I want you to cover up so you don't protect. It said, oh man, you better do this. No. Telling you, you ain't got to worry about the plagues. The plague's for them. Just get away from them. Otherwise, if that's the case, then what the hell when the planet there's going to be all bad weather and all this disease and rage and everything? What the hell want to hire that for? At the end of this, what kind of planet is going to be? Did you think about that? What kind of planet is going to be at the end of all this war, destruction, disease? It's going to be a perfect, beautiful planet. Because that's what this is, just wipe this shit out. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Understand the creation, brothers and sisters. I talk about this, I talk about it now, I'm going to let it go. But you either fire or you fuel for the fire. Your choice.